The Chicago night had teeth. Wind roared down empty avenues, biting at collars and stinging eyes. Streetlights blinked in and out of haze like tired sentries, and the sidewalks shimmered with the sheen of rain not quite frozen. Near the edge of Bronzeville, at a barely functioning bus stop beneath a broken LED sign, Elise sat huddled on the edge of a bench. Her heels dangled from her fingers. Her coat, designer, wool, Italian, was soaked through. Her phone had died 20 minutes ago. Her assistant, Rebecca, had sent the town car to pick her up from a charity gala downtown. But Elise, stubborn as ever, had slipped away after a minor panic attack in the hotel restroom. She didn't want anyone seeing her like that, overwhelmed, messy, alone. Now she was here. No signal, no cash, and absolutely no way of explaining to anyone how she, Elise Monroe, CEO of Monroe Tech, one of Forbes' top 20 women in power, ended up in a broken-down part of town with no ride home. She rubbed her hands together, breath visible in the cold. Her pride ached more than her feet. And then a voice, warm and curious. "You all right, miss?" She looked up fast. A man stood, a few feet away, maybe 30, tall. Flannel jacket, ripped jeans, worn boots. His hair was windblown, jaw shadowed with stubble. His voice had that slightly raspy Midwestern softness, not threatening, just careful. "I'm fine," she replied automatically. He didn't move closer. "You sure? You look like you've been waiting a while." She hesitated. "Bus never came. Phone's dead. I was trying to get to Lincoln Park." "Wrong line for that," he said, gesturing down the street. 35 will take you halfway. You'll need the transfer at 60th, unless you're planning to walk 6 miles in those." He nodded toward the heels in her hand. She smirked, almost despite herself. "I hadn't thought that far." He reached into his pocket, pulled out a $10 bill and held it out. "For the ride," she blinked. "I can't." "Sure you can. I've been the one stuck before. You take it, get where you're going. No questions." She slowly reached for it, her fingers brushing his. "Thank you," she said. "Really?" He smiled. "No big deal." She watched him turn to leave. "What's your name?" He paused, turned back. "Jackson." "I'm Elise." He tipped. "A pretend hat." "Nice to meet you, Elise. Hope the bus shows up this time." And just like that he was gone, into the mist and the wind and the blinking lights. The next day, Elise sat in her corner office, a glass tower overlooking Millennium Park, and stared at the $10 bill she hadn't spent. Her driver had found her 2 hours after Jackson left, but she hadn't told anyone the truth. Instead, she kept the bill, folded in her pocket, like a strange kind of reminder. She couldn't stop thinking about him. She Googled the name Jackson, Chicago, then gave up. Too many hits. That Friday, she told her assistant to cancel her afternoon. Then, dressed in jeans and a hoodie, she took a cab back to Bronzeville. She didn't know why, just instinct. She walked the blocks, the same liquor store, the same tea stand. She was about to give up when she saw him, painting a storefront gate, sleeves rolled up, arms speckled in color. She stood there quietly, until he noticed. "Well," he said, grinning, "either I'm having déjà vu or you're very lost again." She smiled. "I owe you coffee. I thought you spent that 10 on a ride. I didn't. I kept it." He chuckled. "All right then, I won't say no." They sat on a concrete ledge outside the corner diner. He had a black coffee. She had peppermint tea. They talked about everything and nothing. She said she worked in tech. He said he did a bit of everything. Repairs, painting, sometimes carpentry. He liked working with his hands. He liked silence. She liked music she never told anyone she listened to. He had a dog named Oliver. She lived in a penthouse with no pets, no plants, no noise. Over the weeks, she kept coming back, sometimes in disguise, sometimes as herself. But always for him, he never Googled her, never questioned where she disappeared to at night, or how she could afford her clothes when she wore them. He just listened, asked questions, paid attention. One night, as they sat on the steps of a church under yellow streetlights, she whispered, "You don't know who I am." He looked at her, smiled. "Nope. But I like who you are when you're here." And that, she realized, was the first time anyone had said something like that to her. Not Elise Monroe, the billionaire. Not the CEO. Just her. Then came the gala, her company's annual Winter Tech Awards. Black tie, cameras, CEOs, mayors, governors. Rebecca begged her not to be late, but Elise had something else to do first. She went to the diner, wore a simple dress, no makeup, sat across from Jackson, took a deep breath. "There's something I haven't told you," she said. He raised an eyebrow. "I'm not just a girl who works in tech. I'm the CEO of Monroe Tech." He blinked, laughed softly. "You're serious?" She pulled up her phone, showed him the Forbes cover from 2 years ago. Her face. Her name. Jackson stared, quiet. Then, "You still want coffee?" She laughed, startled. "What? I mean, I can't say I saw that coming, but..." He smiled, eyes kind. "You're still you." "That's the part I liked." Her throat tightened. "You're not going to freak out?" He shrugged. "You were good to talk to before. Doesn't change now." Then he leaned forward. "But if you're a billionaire, I may need you to fix..." My toaster. They kept seeing each other, not in secret, not in the shadows. She brought him to boardroom events. He brought her to neighborhood block parties. He helped her fix a squeaky cabinet in her apartment. She helped him build a website for his new small business, Carter Repairs. Months passed. One spring evening, as they sat beneath an old elm tree in Lincoln Park, he pulled something from his coat. A $10 bill. Crumpled. Familiar. "I kept it," he said. She laughed. "I thought I had it." "No," he said. "You gave it back that first day. I just pretended you kept it so you wouldn't argue." She leaned in, kissed him. "Smart move. I fall in love with you more every day. You know that?" he whispered. "I think," she said, resting her head on his shoulder, "that I already did. That first night." The city lights shimmered in the distance, but their world was small and bright, just big enough for two, and neither of them ever waited in the cold alone again.